Benediction is the name of this one. It aired May 13th, 2002, opposite part 2 of 3 of Dinotopia. Do you know what that is?
No.
That was a heavily promoted miniseries. I don't remember what network it was on, maybe ABC. And it was like it took place in this magical land where there's dinosaurs. And I just remember like it was like one of the most expensive productions at the time on television, and they like really tried to get people to watch it. Kind of didn't pan out.
Okay.
Um, but it was so heavily promoted. I watched it. Like I was like, I guess I gotta watch this. Seems like a big deal.
Yeah. How long did you last the whole
Yeah.
way?
Yeah, well, it's only like 3 parts, so I watched the
Okay.
whole thing. But I think the idea was like, if this does well, maybe it'll be a series, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, Spider-Man's still the number one movie in America. Uh, Number two is Unfaithful,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
debuting at number three, The New Guy, starring Buffy alum and Angel alum Eliza Dushku.
The new
Uh,
guy. I don't know if I know that.
really, it's her and DJ Qualls.
No, I don't know that. Is that
Are
good?
you? No, it's a terrible fucking movie. My favorite thing about The New Guy is, I mean, I don't know if this will be funny to people other than me, but me and Henry used to have this friend Phil. I feel like we told this story on the podcast. We had this friend Phil who worked at Barnes and Noble with us, and he was a big movie buff. Okay, and he loved movies, but like he loved movies so much that it felt like there were no movies he didn't like.
Yeah.
And so one day, I remember at work, like me and Henry were sort of like poking fun at him. And I said, Phil, what's a movie that has no redeeming characteristics? Is there any movie you just hate every second of? And he like gave it some serious thought, like for like 30 seconds. And then he looked at us and he said, you know, the new guy.
I mean, I'm on the IMDb and there looks to be a scene where Eliza Dushku is just modeling like different outfits for a
Yeah,
few minutes. That
that's
seems like a redeeming
that
quality.
happens. I know.
I
But
might
I mean,
watch this movie.
I gave it a 1. Here, look, my review on Letterboxd is Eliza Dushku goes to a Sam Goody at one point and asks for quote the new Creed CD.
I have a
and then
question.
DJ Qualls and Zoe Deschanel have a duet on Play That Funky Music White Boy.
Oh, that's fun. That's very fun.
Yeah.
Was was Eliza Dushku one of the hottest people there ever was?
Yeah.
Is that a I feel like people should be talking about that more.
Yeah,
It's sort of incredible.
at the time, like I was, she was unbelievable. I remember when like Jane Silent Bob Strike Back came out, and she's wearing like a leather cat suit in that movie. I was like, this is too much.
Too much. I love when you say that. They're too much, like the
Yeah,
Alexander Daddario. Some people are just too
yeah.
much.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch Dollhouse.
Okay, maybe I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I mean, part of me feels like we should keep Buffy's Angels going and do Dollhouse and Firefly, but I don't
Would
know.
that be? I mean, I feel like there are other shows that are better to do.
No, there are 100% other shows that are better, but we're the Joss Boys.
According to you, that came up like this season of Buffy. Suddenly, season six were the Joss Boys.
Yeah.
That's just so random. And now we have to carry that on to the next thing. Why not do like Lost or something bigger than that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm open to anything.
Or 13 Reasons Why?
I knew you were gonna say that. I was so relieved. Like when you started that sentence, I was like, "This is gonna end with fucking 13 Reasons Why." And then you said Lost, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" But
We can only do the season one of 13 Reasons Why. That's 13 episodes. An episode for every reason.
I know, I
Easy.
get it. It's like 24. All right. Also the day this episode aired, um, Hulk Hogan at this point was champion again on in
Oh wow.
WWE. He had recently returned, and he had a no disqualification match on Raw against Ric Flair, which is the only time those two wrestled on WWE TV. Remember, we talked
Wow.
about that. Like, why isn't that happening?
That's
On
the only time. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
they
Have you
wrestled on
seen that match?
WCW a few times, but yeah, of course.
I gotta check that out.
Um, anyway, but that's really it. Dinotopia, that whatever. All
Weird
right.
week.
Yep. Tim Minear wrote and directed this. This is Tim Minear's last episode as a regular member of the writing staff.
Oh
He
man.
he co-created Firefly with Joss Whedon. So he leaves after this season to go be the showrunner over there. He does come back to write and direct the season 4 finale a year later.
Okay.
But this is it for his stint
And
as
this is your guy, right?
this is my guy, yeah. Um, but I think there's plenty of people that do great work next season, like Jeffrey Bell and Steven Tonight. But see, next week, the finale, David Greenwalt writes and directs, and then he leaves the show too. So the exodus of David Greenwalt and Tim Minear is why Jeffrey Bell, in his only first season on the show, all of a sudden becomes showrunner in his second season.
But you love Tim Minear and well, he's your favorite one, Minear, but he's not even there for your favorite season,
I
which
well,
is
it's
next
just
season.
just the finale, yeah.
So I'm interested to see why you like that season so much.
I think the dude who wrote this week's Buffy, Steven DeKnight, he's a lot better suited for Angel, and he writes some of the best episodes next season.
Okay. I'm interested to see where some things go with Angel.
Yeah,
This show, not just the
it's
character.
it's very interesting. Okay, um, so all right, let's get into it. Benediction, Tim Minear, his magnum opus, his final or whatever. Go ahead.
All right, we're back at we're just like right after that last episode. Angel shows back up. He's like they're like, "Where's Connor?" He's like, "Don't call him Connor. He wants to be called Steven now. Let's call him Steven." He's like,
Right.
he went to go hang out with Holtz. Don't even worry. Or he's like, he doesn't know about Holtz, but he's like, he went to go do his own thing. And then I like this part where we say that he'll be back once he realizes he needs, and then Cordelia says, a father. And then we cut to him with Holtz. He's like, "Hello, father. What's going on?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of right about this. Like we didn't get a good look at Holtz last week, but he's not just older, but like his face looks like he has like holes in his face. He does look
It's
like a
not
zombie.
holes, it's scars. It's like burn. I paid attention to it because you talked about this last week. It seems like he has like burn scars on one side of his face, like I guess
And he's
from
white.
battle.
He's like pale. He looks like a zombie to me.
Well, I mean, not a lot of sun in Kortoth.
That's fair. But I'll always remember this as zombie Holtz. But I really loved the all the stuff going on with Holtz this episode. How he
Yeah,
realizes now it's time for Connor. Well, I'll call him Steven this episode. He's like, he realizes it's time for Steven to go back home. He had done everything he could do. Now Angel has to raise him. And
you
then
don't
the
think?
ending, what happened was fucking
Do
wild.
you think that was intentional?
And that was my question. I don't know, because then he says like, "Do it again." Like it sounded like he said, "Get me again," talking
I
to Justine.
I think there's a gray area, but I've always thought this was 100% intentional.
Oh, so we're not gonna find out in the future. I sort of thought maybe I would find
No,
out the answer to
I think you might, but I'm just letting you know like what I thought at this moment.
yeah. Whenever he saw it, it kind of clicked for me. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
To
so.
me, like Holtz could never let go of the Angel thing, and this was like his final fuck you to Angel. And even though he'd raised Steven like he's his own son, like it was like he was ultimately just a pawn in his revenge on Angel.
Right.
I feel like Holtz's real life ended the day Angel killed his family, and the rest of his life was just an excuse.
Yes. And his whole thing is he wants for Steven to be happy. He doesn't care about Angel being happy or not. He wants for Steven to be happy and for Steven to make his own choices, but he doesn't necessarily care about if Angel lives like a long, happy life or anything.
Right? No, no.
So what does he care? I do think that it was intentional. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. And we cut to the credits, by the way. And I was looking for see if Steven was in the credits or not. Still not. Maybe he'll be like a regular next season or something. But I thought maybe he would be this episode. It'd be like
Hmm.
Steven, whatever the
Not
actor's name
yet.
is. And
Vincent Kartheiser.
right, yeah, right. Cool name. Cool name. He steals from a vending machine. Love that part. Later, he eats some
I
Oreos.
found a box outside with food in it.
Yeah, that was very. Him and the Gruselug are like the same character.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of really literal thinkers.
There's a
Angel
rectangle
right
with a phone number on
right?
it. And Holtz is looking through the paper to see how long they were gone, and he realizes it was only a couple
Only
days.
days. Yeah.
Only days. And Lorne has a Cedrian crystal.
Yeah.
I don't
Lauren
know.
has that great moment later in the episode too, where he's like, "Listen, I was changing your diapers a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Don't
I
be
love
a
Lorne.
piece
Man.
of shit to me."
I thought Lauren was gonna die in this episode.
Yeah, I was worried. I'm often worried about Lauren.
Yeah, it's true because he doesn't really serve a higher purpose right now. Like at the
Right.
moment, he's not doing much else. But
Yeah, it's more just like the writers like him so much they want to keep using him.
yeah, seriously, they're like, well, I want to get you paid every week.
Right.
It's so weird. But I did like the part where Angel introduces Steven to everybody. He's like, "This is Cordelia," and everybody. And then Lauren says, "Hello, young man." I love
That moment. I love that moment.
That's so sweet.
I'm so excited you brought that up.
Hello, young man. And I love this part. Cordelia goes up to Angel's room and he's punching that punching bag. And I thought he looked way better than season 1 or season 2, whenever that time was. He punched the punching bag and I made fun of him. I thought he looked way better here.
All right, he's cleaned up his form.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. We're concerned, like, oh, Steven, is he ever going to come back or whatever? And then we talk to the Gruselug. Gruselug is like, I don't really know what's going on with Angel. I'm gonna go for a walk. And he says, if Cordelia asks where I went, say I went on a walk. If she asks,
yeah.
Poor guy. And then we cut to Wesley. He's about to eat this dinner and drink some wine. Very fun. And then he gets an email on his computer from Lila Morgan. She says, "Meet me at this club." I don't know if we know what's a club yet, but she's like, "This location at this time. Come alone."
Yeah, he's eating a TV dinner.
Yeah,
like,
he was
with like the cellophane pulled back, and he's got wine. It's like, ugh.
It was perfect. They did it exactly perfect.
There's a good cut here too, where like they're talking before about like he needs. I think they're talking about Connor, like Cordelia and Angel, and they're saying like he needs his friends or something. He needs friends. He needs people that care about him. And then it cuts to Wesley eating a TV dinner.
Totally.
It's like, oh,
the staging, I think, was actually a little. Now that we're getting into it, I think it's a little off the way they do it because he's sitting there at the table and he opens the packet. He like opens the. You called it cellophane or something. He opens that and he like kind of burns himself. Like, ooh, I'll burn myself a little bit. And then he gets the email and he goes over to check the email. I've cooked a few of those things, and what you do is you set it in there with it on, and then you like when it gets done, it'll say like cook it for like 3 minutes, and then what you do is you take it out and open it, and then you put like salt and pepper in it, and then you mix it together so like it's not cold, like you get all the, and then you heat it back up for a minute or so. So the way they did it with him was a little weird. He didn't even add any salt or pepper to it. He's just about to eat this thing.
I will say that I've cooked meals like this too, and I never added additional seasoning.
You never add salt to it?
No. You put it in for 3 minutes.
You take it out, you
eat it. Yeah.
Well, mine's way is the better way, guys.
I'm sure you're right. Listen, he's really preparing these TV dinners.
I perfected being poor,
but to me, I feel like I'm just like a sad bastard, like Wesley, and we don't give a fuck. All we need is to consume something at this moment.
I try to make the most of being sad.
Yeah, you do.
And so that's where he's gonna go to that club or whatever. And then we cut to, oh, here we go. This is what I want to get into. It was funny
to see a nightclub like this. I feel like it's the kind of location we went to a lot, like an early Angel, but we haven't seen as much recently.
Yeah, that's fair. It reminded me of the JP Monroe nightclub Whenever Wesley was standing up there, I was like, oh, he's like JP Monroe, like standing up at his nightclub. That's what he
Oh,
did.
oh, the Hellraiser
Yeah. And then he had the
3 Hell on Earth.
yes, and then he had that column like off to the side. I was looking for
Hmm.
that. But very crazy here. Fred is like detecting. We're still trying to find out if anything left that portal from the last episode. That
It,
was a little annoying.
it
But
was Holtz.
yeah, oh yeah, it did come together. But I was like, well, we're still doing this. But it gives Fred and Gunn something to do, whatever. But Fred is like walking around and she's like detecting stuff, and she's like, "I've something on the monitor is," and then she finds Steven and she says, "Hot." And I have to assume that's intentional. And her reaction and everything, I'm saying it here. I assume they're making us want to, but Steven and Fred, that's going to be a thing. And she like relates to him like come from another world, but I was able to get out and I missed some of my life, but now I've got it back, and you just have to make the most of it. I think that that's definitely what's going to happen, right? I mean, don't
Okay.
correct it, but yeah. So, and then here's where Lauren, hello, young man, love that part. And Angel and Steven, they both cross their arms together. That was cute. And
Yeah.
then Cordelia, weird part, she's never had visions like this where she imagines she's at the place, right? She's talking to Angel like, Angel, we have to go because you don't know what's going on. But because she imagines she's at the nightclub. She's like
Yeah, the
screaming.
music's
Very
loud. She's trying to talk over the music, but they're still just in the hotel.
I feel like we haven't really seen that. A lot of weird stuff with Cordelia's powers this week. So
Yeah,
file that
yeah,
away
we're gonna
too.
see something even crazier a little later.
It's true. You're right. And she says there are vampires that are going to fill up that nightclub. So Angel go check that out. So that's what he does. And he says, Steven, come with me. You might like this. So that's where they go. And Wesley's there, Lila's there. Lila's like, hey, Justine's down there. She tried to kill you. Now she's about to die. It's your decision. Do you want to go tell her? You want to not tell her? What's up with that? And but then Angel and Steven show up. They fight everybody. It's pretty awesome, honestly. Pretty cool fight scene.
Yeah, it's
Steven's
great.
awesome. What they handled it. His fighting stuff is way cooler than that first episode. We were a little worried
Yeah,
about it.
agreed. Yeah,
It's really
and
cool.
same dude. I mean, Tim Minear directed both these episodes, so I think even he was like,
He nailed it
let me,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me
And
rethink this.
then later when he's in the traffic, like running and jumping over the cars, I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, that looked better also. Yeah,
So I'm a
this
fan.
whole sequence is really great with them fighting together and Warren, not Warren, Jesus, Wesley and Lila like watching from that balcony area.
Yeah, Wesley's like, I don't have to interfere because Angel's gonna handle it, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and Lila's like, "Who is that? He moves just like,"
His
and Wes
father.
his father. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Hmm.
And then afterward, we see Angel and Connor go out into the Steven, sorry, go out into the alleyway and they're like playing catch or whatever. It's very cute. And everyone's like Holt is like watching, like, oh, this is where he realizes.
Right, right. But there's that great moment before that in the alleyway where like um Connor's looking for like the one vampire that got away, and he Angel sidles up behind him and he sort of like swings his stake at Angel, and Angel has to stop him
I
from
don't think he realized it was Angel, did he?
I don't think he did, but then he also is like not letting up when he does see
Oh.
that it's Angel, and then Angel hits his you think Angel's gonna punch Connor, but he hits Connor's arm, and the vampire's
Oh, that was very
behind
weird.
him. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interestingly staged. I like that sequence.
Yeah, that was really cool. But then they just like play catch or whatever. And then Steven eats Oreos. I thought it was cool. He did the thing. I don't like this move, but I know a lot of people do it where you open the Oreo up and you like lick all the white stuff out. But that's like for babies. Nobody actually eats Oreos that way.
I
But
do it at every Oreo.
that's not. You're just joking, right?
I'm not joking. I not exactly like this, but like what I do is I split it,
So you have two
and
cookies
then I have two cookies, and I eat the one without the filling first, get that over with, and then eat the good one.
every time, like without fail. Anytime you get an Oreo, you do that.
I gotta say, 80% of Oreo, at least 85%.
Wow, I'm glad I brought this up because that's freaking crazy. I just eat the freaking Oreo. You ever use milk? It's pretty good, but I never do it.
I used to when I was younger, but I don't really do it anymore.
I feel like you should do that more, and the other thing should be a thing you did when you were younger, but not anymore.
Fair enough.
Milk is like it's honestly so good, but it's like just the extra effort's too much. But it's really not. It's like no time, just do it. But
I'm like a little lactose intolerant too.
oh yeah, you've talked about
So
that.
yeah, so sometimes when I have milk, like I'll feel shitty afterwards.
Literally.
Yep.
All right. So what happens? Angel like he comes back and he's like telling Cordelia like we were at the club, me and Steven, and it was awesome. Like you should have seen us what we were doing. And she says, "Oh, I did see you." She says she went back into her vision. What the fuck
Yeah.
is this? She can go back in her visions.
She's a demon now.
Yeah. She's like, it was so beautiful seeing you guys together. Whatever. And then Gunn and Fred, they're like, uh, looking for what escaped, and they find Holtz. They see Steven like leave the motel, and they see Holtz inside. They're like, "Oh shit, Holtz is that's what escaped." So whatever. And we're back at the hotel, and Steven calls Lauren a filthy demon.
Yeah, demon.
Filthy
Filthy
fucking demon.
demon. It's great. I think Vincent Kartheiser is really good in that moment.
He's pretty good, and he's dealing with it because he's the product of two demons. He doesn't even know what the fuck he is. Right, the product of two vampires, basically.
Right.
So, and that's what Holtz tells him. Like, you gotta figure shit out, bro, son. And then Cordelia, she's like, Steven, come talk to me for a second. And then Steven pulls a knife out, tries to kill Cordelia, but Cordelia like does like grabs him and does a crazy magical thing. And does she fix him?
I don't know that she fixes
He's
him,
like
but
less animalistic.
she calms him down in that moment for sure. Yeah, she takes the anger from him.
Only in that moment, I thought it was like a for good thing.
I don't know. It's hard to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, it's hard to say. People are complex. And then Gunn and Fred come back. They're like, "Hey, we just found Holtz or whatever." And then we just see Justine with Holtz.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Justine was at that bar earlier.
really? Yeah, of course, right. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's another, we didn't even talk about that like Justine was there and Lila was gonna have her killed.
I think we
And
sort of brought it up, but not
oh
mentioned.
really? But like the only thing was like Wesley's just like, I'm obviously, like this isn't interesting to me, I'm leaving.
Well, he
And
saw Angel was going to save the day. I think he didn't care after that point.
no, but before that, like Lila's like, yeah, but are you gonna warn her before you leave
Right.
the bar?
Are you going to just sneak
And
out, or are you going to warn?
he like stops to think about it, and Lila's like, that's all I needed to know.
What, that he was just going to leave?
No, that he even needed to think about it. Because like old Wesley would have 100% warned her.
Mm, yeah. I guess I didn't really think too much about that. I thought he was just, I don't know. I thought he saw Angel and he just didn't care. I don't know. I don't know what I thought, but I'm glad you brought that up. We go to, where are we? Angel tells them go distract Steven, and then I will go take care of what I need to take care of at this point. So we take him to the Pacific Ocean. That'll be fun. Steven, you ever see the Pacific Ocean before? You have, right?
Me?
I, I,
Yeah.
I never have. I've seen the Pacific Ocean.
It's pretty cool. Have you seen the Atlantic Ocean?
I've been to Florida. Is that the Atlantic
Okay,
Ocean?
I guess so.
Yeah. They take him. They're like, "Oh, look, go walk over there to the ocean." And then we start talking a little bit. Fred and Gunn, like, "Yeah, Angel's just gonna take care of what he needs to take care of, and then we'll be right back after he kills what's his face." And then Steven, very funny the way it's handled. Steven turns around and Gunn's like, "No way! Did he really
Yeah,
hear
there's
us?"
no way he heard us. Yeah, he did.
That was pretty funny.
I
But
mean, the vampires have super hearing, that he might have inherited a few traits.
yeah, they have no idea. And
Hmm.
he takes off running. He's going to go warn Holt. And we go to, well, Cordelia. She's leaving for the night. She turns all the lights off. This was very funny. And she sees somebody. She's like, "Oh my God, Angel, I'm so glad you didn't go kill Holt. I was so worried about you because you're my favorite person, Angel. You, number one." favorite guy around. And then she walks up and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm talking to Gruselug, my boyfriend, and I just called Angel my favorite guy around." And
Yeah.
he's like there, like, "Oh, all sad, whatever." But I thought that was this movie or this episode's like trying to be dramatic, but I thought it was a little silly at times. But I don't know. Who cares?
Well, I I think that's sort of Buffy and Angel. Like
Oh, okay.
that's kind of the tone they're going for almost.
Well, the
Like
Buffy episode was just very serious.
well this week for sure. But like I like that these shows can get sort of operatic, but like when you really come down to it, it's about like other like, people from other dimensions and shit.
Yeah, it's the perfect balance.
Yeah.
And Holt Angel comes in. Well, Angel shows up to Holtz's place, and Holtz is like, Do I need to invite you in, or because it's public?" And he just walks in. And by but we haven't talked. I guess we should mention this. The whole thing in this episode is Angel wants to kill Holtz, but Holtz is doing the right thing. So when you're watching this episode, you're seeing it all as Holtz is the sympathetic character doing the right thing, but he might die for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or that's the way I view it. Like Holtz is the good guy, basically. And then the end of the episode happens and you have questions. But Holtz is doing a good thing and Angel doesn't understand. Angel doesn't know that Holtz is giving Steven up at this point, really. But but Holtz gives Angel an envelope. He says, "Give this to Steven, let him read it." You know, like right now or whenever he's old enough. I don't know. And then we see Steven run through some traffic. It's awesome. And Justine stabs Holtz with the little poker thing. And he says, "Stab me again." So she stabs him twice. Also, it has to be intentional because that's a crazy way to let yourself die. Get stabbed once in the neck or twice in the neck and bleed out.
It's bizarre. Yeah.
It has to be. Literally, it has to be, or else it's stupid or otherwise. So I think it has to be. And then Steven shows up and he finds his father, I was going to say, but Holt's dead or dying. I think he's dead at that point. And he sees the marks and he says, "Angelus." So that's the end of the episode. He's going to go kill Angelus. Pretty crazy. Awesome. Pretty cool, like last couple episodes of the season.
Yeah, we're setting.
Well, you've been on board the whole time, like since we went through the portal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is your favorite season, as you've said.
Second favorite.
Well, so far, I mean, of the first three. So what do we go, 4?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. 4. It's tough ranking. Oh, I guess MVP, LVP. Steven MVP? He was really good this episode. I think I might go Cordelia. I might go Cordelia.
Wesley.
I'll go Cordelia. I think Wesley is to you what Cordelia is to me, maybe.
Maybe.
And then LVP. I don't know.
Justine.
Gunn? Justine, really? I kind of like Justine.
Maybe Gunn.
Yeah, because at least Fred was better. She had the stuff with Steven a little bit. Gunn.
Yeah.
And Gunn had the weird moment when Fred was like trying to connect with Steven, like, "Oh yeah, I know what you're feeling because I went through the thing." I feel like Gunn was already giving reactions like, "Oh no, my relationship's over." Like the direction was like, make a sad reaction, Gunn. But why would he make a sad reaction to that? Like they're foretelling it too much or whatever the word is. I don't know. So I'll go Gunn LVP. And who'd you say yours was?
I'll go with you.
Okay. And then the ranking, Benediction.
I feel like I think about this a lot. Like I think about Pylea, where like this little 3-episode arc at the end of the season, they're so close together for me that I mean, where do I have a New World?
A New World. You have it 30.
All right, and I think this is like a little better. So like
The Price is ahead of it. Then Loyalty, Birthday. That's all this season. Then Reprise. Then we get into Pylea.
All right,
the Looking Glass.
then just put it under
Birthday.
Just right ahead of New World. One slot ahead. Yeah.
So you're gonna have it at 30. And I put it at 26 between Birthday and that Vision thing. And I had a New World at 34. So 8 spots between the two. So a little different there. But it seemed, I mean, I was higher on this episode when we came in. I said, great episode. And you were like, really? Great episode? So I was higher.
Well, yeah, I thought I thought this would be Seeing Red. Like this is
Mhm.
the Seeing Red episode of Buffy's Angels. But nah, you were pretty high
That
on
was just too random to me. This one was like everything was set up beforehand.
yeah.
The Buffy episode. I don't like random, but I love when random rules, as you know.
Very good.
So is that it? We ranked them.
Yeah, we did it. Next
Holy
week.
shit.
Oh, well, first let's hear Josh's thoughts.
Yeah, Josh, here's what he has to say about Buffy. He says Andrew, and then in parentheses he says Warren question mark called Jonathan skin job. Do you remember who
It
did that?
was Andrew, and Josh is flagging this up because he's a fan of Battlestar Galactica, and that was a Battlestar
Oh yeah, that's
Galactica
his next sentence
reference.
here.
Yeah.
It's a stunning Battlestar Galactica crossover twist. Okay, that rapey scene was rough. This
Jane
episode,
Espenson, by the way, after Buffy ends, goes over and just joins the Battlestar Galactica writing staff.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
It would be. I mean, it's a lot of time, but it would make me feel more complete if I like because you've done this. You've like watched all the Marty stuff. Like you watch all these people's other stuff. It would make me feel happier, more connected to them. But it's just too much stuff. But I would love to. But
Yeah.
he says this episode marks the second time Buffy's called someone a bitch. I rank this time two. Wait, I rank this time two, and I only have eyes for you one.
There you
Really?
go.
What? Remember
Yeah.
what she did there? What's
Yeah,
your favorite episode?
yeah, it's when she's possessed.
Yeah, she said called someone a bitch there. What did she
Yeah.
call it? Oh, she said bitch to
Because
Warren.
remember, Angel becomes the woman when they're possessed, and
Mm-hmm.
she becomes John Hoggs.
Right, with the gun, of course.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I can always count on Xander to mention the poking. He did that here too.
I guess.
Holy shit, crazy ending. And I was just getting complacent thinking that we'd seen the end of Bad Witch Willow. Nice job, Buffy folks, switching it up just at the right moment. Yeah, good call.
All right.
I was thinking less complacent and more I was happier she was over that.
Yeah.
Now she's like falling back. I was like maybe sad she's back to Bad Witch Willow. And then he says about Angel, don't you guys love it when it sounds like your phone's ringing? So you look at your computer and it's an email that popped up as an icon on your desktop. I do love that.
That's how Wesley got the message from Lila. That was really stupid.
What do you mean? It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then he says, okay, Layla just called. Wait, Layla? He means Lila, right? Okay,
I
Lila just
guess.
called vampires undead Americans like she's PC. Oh, that's interesting. Cute sparring match.
It's a
between...
joke they've made before. There's a season 2 episode of Buffy where Buffy refers to vampires as undead Americans.
Oh, wow. Lila with
Mhm.
a mention there. Cute sparring match between Angel and Stevie. Who's Stevie? Oh,
I
Steven.
guess Steven.
My bad. Wow, I was really touched by the whole ending with Holtz. They really took that in a good direction. Kind of dumb that it ended in a big whoopsie daisy. Well, it didn't.
And yeah, I think he's misreading that.
Do you think it was Holt? Oh, he says, do you think it was Holt's intention to have it look like it was killed by a vampire? Sorry, by an undead American. Yes, we do think so, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard for me to get over the fact that a lot of what's happening now is the result of Sajan. By the way, no Sajan. That's interesting. We still, I feel like, have a lot of threads with Sajan, right?
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, go ahead. Read the rest of this because
Okay.
Josh gets something wrong here.
Just as a result of Sajan forging some documents, I feel like he could have avoided getting murdered in some simpler way, but he meddled with stuff with that has huge implications in the apocalypse and stuff. What a bozo.
Yeah, he's not dead. He's just stuck in that urn or whatever. Like we haven't seen the last of Sajan.
And his like intentions, I feel like we didn't even fully get originally that
We
first time around.
didn't. No, that has yet to be explained.
So a lot with Sajan. So that's what he has on Buffy and Angel. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, as always.
As always.
Next week on Buffy's Angels.
Yeah, I forgot what we're doing. If we're doing the Angel finale or not.
We are. It's gonna be we're gonna do episode 20 of Buffy and then the Angel finale. And then the following week will just be the last 2 episodes of Buffy for season 6.
Okay.
So next week's Buffy is called Villains.
Oh no.
Something
think-
we've had a lack of this season.
Well, I think like Willow and Anya are gonna team up and be villains.
Okay. And then Buffy next sorry, Angel next week. The finale is called Tomorrow.
They're gonna. We're finally. I feel like this whole season took place in one day, and now we're finally next week gonna get to tomorrow. That's gonna be like the whole big twist of the season.
Yeah, it's like a soap opera. I remember I used to watch the soap opera called Passions.
Right.
Oh, it's the same
Angel,
one that
Spike's
Spike is
favorite.
into. Yeah. And I watched like it was the first time I ever watched a soap opera like regularly because it's on like 5 days a week. And I remember I started watching it like May. All right. And then I realized in September, like I really thought about it, and only 3 days had happened.
Oh my god. Oh wow. That's like this season. It's so
Yeah.
cool. I sort of love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Um, I love when things do like that, or like a movie is like forever ago, but it takes place like The Incredibles 2. Like it came out 14 years later, but it's just right after the first one. It's a
Yeah,
movie.
that's
You can do
always
whatever
mind
you want
blowing to
to. It
me.
doesn't have to
It's
be like
true.
how the world is. Do
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
I was like the wet hot bit where they do like wet hot first day of camp, but everyone looks like fucking 15 years older than they did in the previous one because they didn't make it right away.
Right. And they never comment on that or anything.
No,
Like
I mean
you look
they
heavier from last summer.
right.
Anything like that.
No. It's first day of camp. So it's like it's supposed to take place like a month before the movie,
Oh shit, that's
but
crazy.
everyone looks way older.
They should be like I'm starting a new diet. So like by the end of camp, they look thinner and like
Yeah.
and better. I have a new
Yeah.
skincare routine that I'm starting to do.
That's a good bit.
I should have done that. But aren't some of them recast? Like Bradley Cooper's not even back. It's Adam Scott or
No, they are
something.
all in it. Bradley
Oh,
Cooper's
really?
in it. Yeah.
I thought Adam
I
Scott was in it.
I think maybe that happens a little bit in the ten years later
Oh, I
one.
forgot they did two of them. Right.
But first day at camp, everyone came back.
That's awesome. I don't know why I never saw that. I should.
You should. It's great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.